Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You're in our Stitchuation room, or in this case, my motorhome. And this is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me in here, follow me on my sewing journey, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody. Lots of folks here in the chat. Hello, hello. Great to see you guys. Hi, Rebecca. Great name. Even spell the same. I love it. I love it. Oh, my goodness. Y'all, we got here to Wamego, Kansas yesterday, and my husband's outside opening cargo bay doors. So you might hear some funk kind of thing going on. And I'm at my kitchen countertop where I'm doing some cutting. Good morning. Good morning. Frito's here. She's ready for her biscuits. Let me point this down. You want your biscuit, Frito? Do you want your biscuit? Yeah, that's a good girl. Well, come over here where people can see you, sweetheart. There, up. There she is. You can't hardly see her. There you go. Yeah, a good girl. Yeah, that's a good girl. And two more of your Dave biscuits? Yeah, what a sweet baby. And here's you a stick. Go brush your teeth. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, all right. That part's done. Great to see everybody here in the chat. 400 already. That's wonderful. I tell people, imagine standing in front of a room of 400 people or 800 people. That's crazy. Thank you, Nan, for the hugs and belly rubs for Frito. She loves them. Yeah. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Hi. Keith says hello, too. He's, you say hello?
Hello. I got to go watch your car.
Okay. Yeah, y'all, it was very misty on the way. I mean, it misted for 3 hours from Hayes, Kansas, all the way here. The bus and the Jeep are filthy, just filthy. We have a new person, Rita. Hi, Rita. Harriet says hello, Keith.
Hello, Harriet.
Hello, Harriet. Oh, my goodness. Y'all ever get something in your brain and it sticks there and it's wrong over and over and over? I did that yesterday. I kept calling that store in Hayes Eclectic Quilts, and it's not. It's Eclectic Threads. I looked back at the video yesterday, and I was like, I even had it in the picture. It said Eclectic Threads. Whatever. Sorry. We got casseroles. Is there breakfast casserole in the kitchen? Thank you, Allison. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, yeah. Op Alabama is sold out. So good for you, Glenna. I'm glad you got in on that. That's great. We're going to have a good time that day. That's a class. That's going to be fun. Too fun. I need some more coffee, and I am standing right next to my coffee maker, which is wonderful. Let me show you guys my block from yesterday. All done. Didn't that come out cute? That's precious, precious, precious. Thank you, Joan. She wants to know how much weight I've lost. I lost 27 pounds. That's enough. I'm done. I'm not down to my Air Force Max yet, but I'm close. I'm only like 4 pounds from my old Air Force maximum weight. So that's a good thing. I swear, I think that the good health that I have today in my 60s is because the Air Force stayed on me for 20 plus, to stay in weight standards and preventive health and all that. I'm pretty sure of that. But then keeping it off after retirement's tough, really tough. But I refuse to do any of those GLP-1 medications. I refuse. I'm not heavy enough for one, and two, I still am, I don't know. I'd rather they be out for 20 years and I see how people are doing. So, as a reminder, you guys, we're not having giveaway on Friday. My husband and I are on the road, and I have no way to ship out anything until we get back. So am I using my treadmill I bought? No, not right now. So I don't have one in here. I do walk around the RV parks that we stop at. So, oh, yeah, I know. Harriet says fresh sourdough bread is a waste killer. That's for sure. You're nice and trim, Harriet. Everything in moderation, my friends, right? Everything in moderation. Okay. Plus, I'm using Splenda for my sweetener. And, you know, it's little things like that. Fat-free, half and half. Little things like that. So, all right. Today, I wanted to show you guys how I'm going to make the border star, left border star points on this quilt. This is the Quilted Christmas Tree quilt. We're making this summer. Okay, hopefully it'll be done before we get home on August 13th. This is all 5-inch squares put together. I don't eat a lot of bread, you guys. I try to stay away from that. So I'm on Wednesday, we made the half square triangle tree branch, half square triangles. And yesterday, if you didn't get a chance to see it yesterday, I showed you guys how to trim a perfect 5-inch square without one of those fancy rulers, okay? And you get a perfect 5-inch half square triangle. And the trick, if you didn't see it yesterday, but I'll show you here, see the seam line? The trick is to take a regular standard ruler that's got measurements across one side and the other for the point, okay? Is YouTube streaming today? Yeah, it should be, because I'm on YouTube and you guys are on YouTube. Yeah, Cindy. And then what you do, I think I can show you here. It's got white thread on the back of the green, okay? This is just real quick. I'm showing you guys. But this, I did this demo yesterday. You want to put the measurements for 5. So these are 5-inch squares, okay? So the measurement for 5, these are already trimmed. But the measurement, see the 5-inch line right here? You want to put that right there. And the 5-inch line over here, right up at the edge of the ruler. And you put that line just over that stitch line in your seam allowance. You can do it with, by seam line, do I mean the stitch line or the raw edge? The stitch line, Beth. Yeah. You don't have to go buy $20 worth of squaring rulers. Besides, they're hard to find. You're not going to find a ruler. Well, you will, maybe, if you go looking for a 5-inch ruler. That's hard. But I'll put it down here. I've already got them all cut, so I don't have one to demo for you. But I'll show you the way I did it. Let me point this down so you can see my cutting mat here. All right. So I have the triangle, and I'm just going to write in here, okay, like this. There's the line for the number 5, and I'm going to put it just over the stitch line, and this one just like a thread width over the stitch line. You don't want it right on it. You want it just a hair over. And then once you get that, 5 and 5, and then trim on those 2 corners, okay? Try it first with scraps to make sure you get it right. But that's going to save you some money on a squaring ruler. And you have to make a bunch of these. And usually a standard number is hard unless you get those perfectly slotted, clearly perfect slotted trimmers. Those come in 1/2 inch. It's 2 different rulers in one thing. And those come in 1/2 inch and whole inch increments. Okay, so got these all done. Would I do the same if you had a 3-inch block? Of course, yes. 3-inch, 4-inch, 2-inch, whatever. You don't have to have those fancy rulers. You can use the measuring lines on a standard ruler for the right angle. It works perfect. You can even do 1/2 inch. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can do 2.5. Just, it's very simple. Pancakes in the kitchen. Awesome. Awesome. I love to hear that. We have a virtual kitchen, you guys. Every stitching retreat has a virtual kitchen? No. Every stitching retreat has a kitchen. We are a virtual stitching retreat, so we have a virtual kitchen. You're in the right place. Wander in. Those are fun. I see there's pancakes. That's great. Good morning. Good morning. You know, and I love the replay crew here. You guys just put it on in your sewing room and you've got stitchy chatter in the background. Love it. So today I'm on the label says 617. I'll go fix that. Oh, my bad. It says 716. Wrong day. The label, the title. I'll fix that when we're finished, y'all. Thanks. Okay. So page 1. Okay. I haven't done these yet. These are our bows. I haven't done those yet. So I started with these half square triangles we had to make in all the different fabric colors. And then now we're down here at the bottom of page 1. Okay. You're welcome, Carmela. She didn't know that. Aw, Tina, your job's being taken over by AI. Dang it. I hate that. It is hard to keep track of the days when I'm traveling, Jean. I know. I'm like, oh, what day is this? Okay. So here we go. The thing about this pattern, all the stuff that they have you make, it's all oversized, and then they have you trim down. So we're going to look at left border and star point unit. 7 across, 2 down on the assembly diagram. And what that's referring to is 7 across and 2 down right there. That left point star unit. Left border and star point unit. Okay. Using one pair of 5 3/4 inch, 5 by 2 3/4 inch red print rectangles. So let's cut a pair 5 by 2 3/4 inch rectangles. Oh, you're welcome, Kim. She says sometimes I can't watch the live, but she enjoys the replays. You're welcome. So I'm just going to grab any old red print out of my selection of prints here. I have some 5 squares already cut. Do I want to use those? Yeah. A pair. So you're not going to be able to get a pair out of 1 square. You're going to have to use 2 because it's 2 3/4. Well, what do I want to use? So I'm just digging around here in my fabrics, y'all. Let you see what I'm doing. So these are the ones I made the half square triangles out of. I have some 5-inch squares. Let's see. I'm afraid of the directional print. This one with the trees is directional, and this one with the pine needles is directional. So I'm saving those for nothing but border. Okay. And I want to save the one that is white with the red plaid for nothing but border as well. I don't want to have to. That'll look funny, that one, because I want contrast with the gold and the white background. So let's see. We could use these 2, okay? Just looking for contrast. Keith is outside and Frito is sitting in the driver's seat in the coach, looking at him out the window. She's so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm going to put these together down here. And as usual, I'm going to oversize my first cut by a little bit. It needs to be 5 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to make it 5 by 3 or 5 1/4 by 3. Okay. This is supposed to be super scrappy. You can use the same fabric if you want. You don't have to. And then I'm going to turn this around, and now I'm going to cut it the exact size, which is 5 by 2 3/4. Okay. This is how I how I like to cut my fabrics. So you can see I've got a little bit of extra. And I'm just going to there we go. 5 by 2 3/4. Perfect. Okay, so here's my two, a pair. That's what they said. There's my two little rectangles. Okay, that looks great. And then, so I've got that all set up. And now, and 1 2 3/4 inch square gold print. All right. So I need one of the gold print. This is beautiful. It's kind of a metallic. It's going to be a gorgeous star. Very, very pretty. 2 3/4 square. I'm going an 1/8 inch over on both of the edges. Plenty of fabric for this. Okay. So there's that one. Turn it around. Now an exact 2 3/4 inch square. I love the Quilter Select rulers, you guys. It will increase the accuracy of your quilting. It's amazing how much it increases the accuracy. I actually threw some rulers away. Callie already had enough, my granddaughter, when we were up there, and I had a couple extras and I got rid of them. So, all right. Now what we have to do, I'm looking at this slow, just like y'all. I think I want this one to be the outside in the border. Okay. And so I'm going to put this square upside down on the solid. This is how this is going to go when it's sewn together. And I need a pencil. I've got one in here. And it wants me to do like that. Now, again, this is how I make my half square, my sew and flips, you guys. Okay. The ruler is corner to corner. I'm going to draw a line. If I wouldn't recommend a directional fabric. Okay. So the ruler's corner to corner. I'm going to make a little mark out here on the side. That's the piece that's going to be cut off. Oh, I did that backwards. No. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to sew like this on the line, and that's going to give me enough fold over turn of cloth for that to fit just like that. And is that how that's supposed to look when we're done? Yes. Okay, good. There's that one. Does that make sense, y'all? You're going to have to watch the replay. I know. That's okay. So there's this one, and she used the whole bottom half of the page. I had junky rulers, Connie. She says it never occurred to me to get rid of rulers. I have way more than I need. Way, way more. When I first started quilting, I bought rulers, from like big box stores. And then once I got serious about it, I started to say, okay, I need to be real selective in my rulers. And that's why I use Quilter Select. I get the best accuracy with that. I have a Quilter Select mat and Quilter Select rulers. They're the best. They're expensive too, but they're the best. All right. Open and press toward the red side square to 5 by 5 and set aside. See, she used the whole bottom of the page here to show you exactly what I just did. And then we're going to go to page 2. Yes. And we're going to do the exact same thing and do it the opposite direction. Do the exact same thing the opposite direction. Okay.
Leave the dog towel dry up.
Okay. That's fine. So I'm going to cut another. I should have read ahead and cut 2 at a time, but I'm going to go ahead and cut another 2 3/4 inch gold square because I need it. I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch larger all the way around on the first cut. Oh. Is that right? Yeah. So we're going to make these the same, just opposite. And now 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 exact. I should have looked ahead, read ahead, and then I'd have done them at the same time. Be efficient, Becky. I was talking about rulers. Okay. There we go. It's always best to trim down. Okay, so there's my second one. And now I need 2 more reds, and I'm going to use the one, let's see here. Do I need reds? Is that right? Let me read this again and double check. 8 across, 2 down with the remaining pair of 5 by 2 3/4 red print triangles. Okay. Yep. Red, not green. That'll work. So I'll use the trees and I think this one looks like a weave. There. And we're 5, so I'm going to go 5 1/8 by 2 7/8 is fine. See that she has you cut all these specialty blocks first in the pattern, and then you can trim up all of your extra fabrics to the 5 by 5 to sew them all together for the rest of the tree. So 2 3/4 by 5. There we go. Okay, good. And this one needs a line drawn on it, corner to corner. Put the ruler corner to corner. So if the ruler's corner to corner, the line is not. It's right next to it. And my pencil has disappeared. There it is. I feel it. Black pencil on a black counter. And you're going to draw. I'll go from the center out like that and make a mark. And that's the corner that's going to be cut off. Okay. So we are ready to go sew these, y'all. They just have to be sewn different directions. Awesome. So I'm going to take my laptop over here to the sewing machine. There we go. Oh, goodness. Ah, perfect. No. What breakfast? Who, you talking to the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not talking to me. No, she did not. Daddy's going to feed you, Frito. She got her bone and her treats. Yep.
That don't count.
It is just an ordinary pencil, Paula. Yeah. It's a standard mechanical pencil from Crypto or something like that. Okay. I need to pull my thread through. I've got a hang up back here. Let's see. What's holding up my thread? My sewing thread. Okay. I also need to turn on my hot stuff iron here. My Tula Pink Aliso M3 Pro. Love this. I have it listed below in the description box. This thing is awesome, y'all. Perfect size. It's got enough weight. It's great. Okay. I've got plugs under here. There we go. Turn that on. Okay, we're ready to sew. Okay. People have been using pencils and sewing for years and years and years. Oh, I've got my embroidery foot on. I need to switch that out. Let's see. Raise my foot. Because I was embroidering yesterday that crow and pumpkin block. I'll show you guys. I showed it real early when we started. Just a second. Let me grab it. So this is what I finished up yesterday. I told you guys I was going to finish before we left Hays, Kansas. And I finished it up. It turned out super cute. Super, super cute. Just adorable. I love it. One block at a time, you guys, coming along. I'm going to start pre-cutting my fabrics, not on camera, so that when we do these blocks Tuesdays and Thursdays, we can get through this quilt, okay? Because otherwise, we'll be here till Christmas getting that thing done. Also, I think I saw Midge talking about something on the, thank you all, I appreciate that. Well, Marie, I'm excited to see you next week too. Are you going to Missouri Star? I'm going to be at, sorry, I'm going to be at Missouri Star next week. Y'all, we have no water in this RV park. They called last night and said, we had problems. Fortunately, Keith has us enough water in the tank. We're good for the necessities, if you know what I mean. I need my sewing foot. But yeah, I'm just going to Missouri Star. Hopefully we're there Monday night. You're welcome, Sonia. She said using my sew and flip method improved her blocks. Good for you. That's fabulous. Old dog, new trick, right? We love that. Yeah. Let me see here. Get this on. I love this. I got this screwdriver. I got it in some kind of kit. It might have been either a Fat Quarter Shop subscription or something else. I can't remember, but it was this one. And you can flip it over and there's a Phillips. Love this thing. And it's short enough, small enough that I think this is awesome. I don't know where I got it. Handy dandy, right? Okay. Threaded, good to go. So the idea behind my method for sew and flip points is one, never cut it until after you press. So just like I was telling you, you put the ruler corner to corner, draw a line, and the part that's hanging out from underneath the ruler. She says, I didn't know you could see me. I'm an old dog, but I look good for my age. Yes, you do. Fabulous. Beautiful. So I put a mark on it. That indicates that this half of these two triangles, this half is smaller than this half because the ruler was corner to corner. So the line is right next to corner, which makes this smaller. So what it has done in the garment sewing world, it has given you a thread or two in there that they call turn of cloth. Very important in the garment sewing world. Very important. So that part with the mark is the part you're going to cut off. I'm getting my instructions again, just to be double sure I don't sew it backwards. So I'm at the bottom of page 1, and we're making this one right here. That's the unit right there. All right, so the part that's going to be cut off is to my left. That's how I think. So I'm putting the part with the mark down to my lower left. I'm going to sew on the line. Now, here's the thing. The base shape, that's the one that doesn't get, you know, this is the base shape, is that rectangle right there, okay? Maintain the integrity of the base shape. You don't want to see the gold poking up like that. That's wonky. And you don't want to see red poking over the gold like that. That's wonky. You want those edges to line up perfectly on both sides and the top so that it looks the same from the front. The base shape, maintain the integrity of the base shape. It is the same. You can't tell there's another piece of fabric except for the shadow. Okay, so now I'm going to sew on that line. You might need a leader, a starter, or one of those little things. I don't. Put my foot down here, and I plugged in my foot pedal. I'm a foot pedal girl. I can't do the the button. That's not me. And I'm just going to stitch on this. All right, there's one. Now I'm going to do the other one right now too. What do I do with it? Did they fall again? Where'd they go? There it is. And so this one, I'm also going to put the gold on the non, they're both prints, but I'm going to have this be the one it's sewn to. So this one is the opposite direction. I'm going to sew the part that's going to be cut off to my lower right. Okay. Instead of my lower left, I'm going to sew it to my lower right. And make sure it's not on there wonky. All right. Oh, y'all, I just played bobbin chicken and I won. Jeez. I got to make a bobbin now. I have another one in here. Oh, my word. I got through that one. So I'm going to trim these. Okay. Hold on a second. So this looks good. These look great. Okay. I got to show you. I should go buy a lotto ticket. You can see it. Little bitty. That's it. Yay. I got a little bit left on that one. I'm going to use it up and then I'll make more when we get done here. Okay. So now, let me trim these little threads. You're out shop hopping? Awesome. I want to go to some shops here in Kansas and, schedule. I'd love to meet you guys somewhere. If there's anywhere between here and Salina, I'd be happy to do that if I can figure it out. Okay. So this is the part I'm going to cut off. So this gets folded over like this, right? So now you want to take the point and fold it over and match it exactly. And then finger crease just like this. So again, now the point is exact, okay? You can't see the red fabric behind the gold, and you can't see gold poking out from the red. Maintain the integrity of the base shape. So now we have the exact same base shape. It's just going to be two different colors. So now is when I'm going to press this after you folded it over. I see people who are much better quilters than me, like Pat Sloan and Lori Holt, and they flip it. Before they flip, they cut. And I'm like, well, how do you know how far to fold that corner over to? I don't know. They just know it from their brain, and I can't do that. So I don't have my shears with me. I need to trim that. But I'm going to do the same thing here on this one. Okay. So I'm just going to fold it over, match the point exactly, and fold it. And it reaches you know, a lot of times when you start making these, you'll want to tug, and that point might be short like that, or you'll fold it over and it's wonky like that. Okay. If you use that method where the ruler's corner to corner and the line is right next to it, and then mark the short side, you have enough fabric on the long side for it to fold up and match and meet perfectly. That's going to change your world when it comes to being able to get these to fit. So, I need to grab my, I don't know if I have a pair of shears over here. If I think I put those from the Fat Quarter shop in here. I did not. So I'm going to cut them with my rotary cutter. And I'm just trimming a quarter. Let me pull this over here. I'm going to trim a 1/4 of an inch away on these. Point this down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I need my Steady Betty under here so that I have something to cut against. And then this other one too. Pull that up. And I'm just going to freehand it. It doesn't have to be exact. There. About 1/4 of an inch. And again, I still need a new rotary blade. All right. Okay. That's waste. Put that in the little basket there. And they're perfect. And they're going opposite directions like they're supposed to. That's awesome. Okay. Oh, see, Terry says another great tip. She always cuts first and gets wonky occasionally. Right. So I'm just not that good that I can do that. So you hear me in your brain every time. Maintain the integrity of the base shape. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So now let's see. I've got to go back to the picture on the pattern and make sure I've got it right. So the first one has the long straight piece over to the points left. Okay. So I'm going to use these two over here like this on the points left and like this. Now, this is on the bias. This point is on the bias. So I'm going to take a pin and pin it. I've got my little camper pins. That was a gift from a viewer. Thank you. And I'm pinning it at the bottom corner, okay? And I'm going to pin it horizontally where that seam meets, just to make sure everybody stays where they're supposed to. We don't need anybody wandering off, you know. What happened here? I got a problem. Why is that? My thread's not coming off my spool the way I want it to. Okay. So now I'm just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. Right there. Is that correct? I think it is. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do that trick where you can move the foot over. So on these machines, there's a trick where I can go to, let me see, I think it's that, and use my stitch width from 3.5 and move it over to 5.5, I believe. And then my foot is going to be exact. The size, the edge of my foot is going to be exact with the 1/4 inch seam allowance over from the needle. Very handy. I'm sorry, I said move the foot. I meant move the needle. My bad. Let me see. I'm going to put this, I have my little measuring gauge. And I'm going to put the line. Yes, it's 5.5. Okay, you can do this. I don't know about other brands. You can do it on a Brother and a Baby Lock with the standard the J foot. That's the one that has the clear with the little, or the R foot. I'm sorry. It has the clear with the little black button. That's the standard sewing foot, right? The little clear plastic piece right there. And that, right. So stitch width to 5.5. If I go through Lawrence, there's Sarah's fabrics. Oh, cool. Might have to check that out. Michelle says she uses that trick all the time. So much easier than a 1/4 inch foot. It is. It's that, or using the guide on the tape or any of that stuff. So much easier. Okay. So now I just have to keep it going. I love this little Yazzie mat, y'all. I got a little built-in pin cushion right here. It's awesome. Okay, and then this other one goes to the right. All righty. I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to pin this because it's on the bias. I don't want it getting wonky on me. And I'm going to pin it straight on the seam allowance. And that way it doesn't dance over to the side, because they do like to do that. Pin, pin, pin. And my bottom edges, I'm going to just tack those together as well. So yeah, if you guys are going to be following me with Autumn Love, you can go ahead and cut out all your fabrics. You've seen me do it several times already. If you haven't, you can look back on the thumbnails or the title of the videos that say cut whatever block, and then you can see it. Okay. These are done for the most part right now. There we go. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? Beautiful. Even. They're even down here at the bottom. This looks fabulous. Good. And now I need to press them out. And I do like to finger press first. I don't know which way it said to press. Does it have an arrow telling you which way? Sometimes it will. It does not. Nope, it doesn't tell you which way. I don't think it does. Sew on the diagonal line, trim away a corner. See, this even tells you the directions backwards. Okay. It says sew on the diagonal line, trim away the lower corner 1/4 inch from the seam, and then press it out. No, no. Press it, the point to its partner on the other side. Get that pressing point fixed, then cut. Better. Oh, open and press toward the red side. So we're going to press toward this side. Yeah, less bulk. Okay. So I like to finger crease first. Get that down nice and flat. I have that Omni Grid, one side press, one side cut mat. It's big. It's too big for right here. Okay, and then this one too. I'm just going to set that seam and then flip this over. I love quilting, you guys. I love embroidery, but I love quilting. I'm hoping my granddaughter gets a taste for it. She has everything she needs, including a straight stitch machine. But right now she's into the, she's definitely into embroidery more than that. All right, this looks amazing. Now these need to be trimmed to 5 by 5. Okay. Yeah. Trim to 5 by 5. And I need a ruler, and I left it over on my cutting table. Did I make my other cup of coffee? I don't know if I did. I know I put a pot in there. Let's see. I did. Yes. And I'm going to put in my half and half, fat-free. Okay. All right. And now I need to trim this to 5 by 5. You guys are so indulgent. Thank you. Okay. So my cutting mat. I should take you back over to the countertop. It'd be easier. But steady Betty down below. Mat here. Let's see how to do this. Your cat is watching intensely. Good. I love that. At least I'm entertaining to the cat. Okay. 5 by 5. It's pretty close already. Trim to 5 by 5. Oh, y'all, it is 5 by 5. Look at that. Perfecto. How about that? Ta-da. That's where you would totally get it wrong. Yeah. Well, one little bit at a time. So let's trim this. Let me see. Put that on the 5-inch line and that on the 5-inch line. Good enough for government work, y'all. I like it. Okay. That's a good 5 by 5 square right there. Ta-da. Love it. Okay. Yeah. I know using a design board helps a lot. So you can really kind of get an idea. That's where I think I might struggle is when it comes time to put all these in rows and whatnot. I'm not going to have a design board to lay it all out. Patty says it's because I cut accurately to begin with. Yes. Again, 1/8 to 1/4, depending on your mobility issues, if you have any, larger than the required square or rectangle or whatever shape, and then trim it down. That's the ticket. So this is what this is going to look like. So there's the top part of the star right there. Yeah, I don't like not having anything to trim. That's not always a good thing for me. Okay, so we have completed the bottom of page 1, all of page 1 except the bow parts. We'll do that another time. And halfway through page 2. Now page 2 is a big half a page just telling you how to make flying geese units. You know, Carrie Craft says, use the back of a picnic tablecloth for a design board. I had a Fons and Porter gridded, you know, design board, that plastic thing. And don't you know, I gave it away. I could use the bed for the layout. Yeah. But I could use a tablecloth and I could actually I'd figure out some way to put it up on we have a door back that leads to the master bedroom, and that would work well. I could do that. Good idea. Yeah, good idea. That Fons and Porter was too big anyway, but I never use it because I've got design boards at home, but I didn't even think about one in the motorhome. So, all right, you guys. So that's how we make the red star points and the border that's in there. So that's it for now. We're almost done. The hour is almost up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Y'all give the video a thumbs up if you would. And if you're watching on TV, grab your remote control for the TV and hit the channel up button. Or if it's on a Roku, I think there's a way for you to. There's the guy for the.
Who did?
Somebody's at the door. My dog bell just went off. Okay. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Monday. I'm going to go ahead and do some more on this and we'll get it going. All right. I love you guys and I look forward to seeing you next week. Y'all go sew something. Bye.